Welcome to another episode of Dynamic Diecasters, where this week we're actually going to continue our Ghostbusters Ecto 1 build. This week we'll be working on issue number 12, and when we get back we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome back. Like I said before the break, we're going to go ahead and work on issue 12 of the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 build. Issue number 12 is actually stages 39 through 42 of the build. Just like the last episode, I don't think this episode will take that long to actually complete. It looks like we're working on the dashboard primarily, the lower part and the upper part. So we're going to use, looks like we're going to do stuff to the lower dashboard for part of it, and then we get the upper panel, and it looks like we start updating that one too. So I don't envision this episode taking all that long to complete, so let's go ahead and get started. So for stage 39, we're going to receive more parts that'll populate the Ecto 1's dashboard, including the glove box and the control panels. So that's kind of where I was talking about, like from this standpoint, there's 5 pieces and 8 screws in total. So I don't see it taking all that long to complete, honestly. And they're all little pieces, like the entire stage fits in this little bag, so. But I could be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong in the past about how long stuff takes, so we'll see how that works out. But I don't think it will. Anyhow, so the first piece is the glove box door, which is this piece right here, and it's plastic. All these parts seem to be plastic. The next part will be the glove box panel. Next will be the steering column cover top, and then the steering column cover bottom. Then we've got a ventilation control panel and a heater control panel. And they're both labeled. One says ventilator on it. You probably can't see on the camera, but this one says ventilator, and this one has, it says, I can't even read it, but it's basically says off, cool, basically, and then the heater on the bottom, but it's this little piece right here. Then we've got 4 BP screws and 4 IP screws. With that, we'll go ahead and get started, and when we complete it, I'll show you what we did. And that was it for stage 39, just like I thought. It wasn't going to take very long. So what we did was on the lower dashboard panel, we installed the glove box here. And then we also attached the ventilator dials and the heater dials to the steering column. We assembled the steering column, and then we attached it right here to the lower dashboard unit. And that pretty much makes up for what we did in stage 39. Now in stage 40, we're gonna get the upper panel of the dashboard and some of the dials and parts for it looks like, which again, there's only 5 parts in this one, and then a couple of screws. So this one's gonna be another short stage as well, because there's just not that many pieces. So trying to get these 2 screws out of here. All right, so like I was saying, we've got the dashboard upper panel. So you can see that's where the speedometer and stuff's probably gonna go. Then we've got the ammeter and then the clock. So ammeter is the voltage, obviously, that's this one. And then the clock is this one. Then we've got the Unity S6 spotlight handle, which is this piece right here. And then we've got this other little piece, it's called a hydromatic quadrant. You guys probably can't see either one of those on camera, but they're little tiny chrome plastic pieces. And then we've got 2 EP screws. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what it looks like after we complete this section. See you in a few minutes. And that's it for stage 40. Yeah, these are going really fast, which I anticipated because there wasn't a lot to this one either. So what we did, like I said at the beginning, was we had 4 pieces. We installed all 4 of them. So the ammeter's here, the clock's here. We just basically had to screw these into place, and there's a little notch in there to make sure they don't move around while we were screwing them in. Then we placed the spotlight handle into this little notch here, and then the hydromatic quadrant, we had to put it in two little pins in this little middle section here. So this is what the whole attachment looks like currently. I think we continue adding more to that in the next stage, but so with that, we'll go ahead and move to stage 41. And in this stage, we'll receive parts to populate continue populating the dashboard, including the radio receiver. So let's go ahead and look at the parts, and we'll move on. This one looks like it might take a little bit longer because there's more screws and more parts. So we'll see. The first part is going to be the Regency ACT R26 radio receiver, which is this plastic piece right here. Then we've got an instrument panel box, which is this piece in the middle right here, if I can get it out. It's another chrome piece. And then we've got the instrument panel right here. Then we've got 5 button retainers, which it looks like are in this little bag right here. We've got the main light switch cover. And then we've got the dashboard trim is what it's labeled, or no, ignition switch, sorry. I skipped one. This is the ignition switch. Then we've got the dashboard trim, which is this piece right here. Then we've got the radio, which is right here. We've got a display, which it looks like is this little piece right here. And then lastly, we've got a slide switch. Then we've got a bunch of screws. So we've got 2 AP screws, 6 EP screws, 2 IP screws, 2 JP screws, and 1 KP screw. With that, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what we did in this stage. It'll pretty much be, looks like probably completing the rest of the upper panel. But anyway, I'll see you in a few minutes, and we'll show you what we did. And stage 41 is now complete. So actually that one was one of the longer ones because for one, we not only had to, so as part of this stage, we installed the radio up here. So we had to assemble that and then install it. Then we had to install the instrument panel here. And then we also had to assemble the trim with the radio in it here. And lastly, as you can see, there's now wires attached to this. So we had to install all the wiring that we actually got in stage 38, if you guys saw that episode. So we had to install all the buttons and the switches. So we had the ignition switch and the main light switch that we had to install, and then the buttons behind it. And then the rest of them are just the buttons for like the radio and or the that are in the radio, but they're for like the horn, and the horn's this one. And then we've got the engine sounds and the other items that we received in the last one. The roof lights and the engine sounds. Then we've got the ignition and then the main light switch. So all these wires are coming off, and then we also had to install the dashboard light. So there's a light installed behind this instrument panel, and that's what this wire actually is. So that's what we did in stage 42, or 41, excuse me. Now we'll move on to stage 42, which that's more parts that fit the upper panel that we've been working on today. So so we'll go ahead and detail those out, and then we'll get started on the build after that. And then complete the episode, because we're on the final stage at this point for the day. So love when they all pop out when I want to detail them out to you guys. Now I gotta figure out where they're all at. So let's see if I can figure them out based on the pictures. Looks like this piece right here is the Gentech 525 antenna body. And then this piece right here is the antenna center, this little tiny piece. And then we've got the antenna base right here. These are all tiny pieces, so. Then we've got a fuel gauge right here. Then we've got the battery indicator right here. The switch panel right here. Then we've got switches, which are all these on this little, so it looks like we break off the ends and stick them in that other piece. And then lastly, we've got the emergency brake pedal for the pieces that are involved. And then we've got 4 different types of screws. So we've got 4 BP screws, 3 BP screws, 4 EP screws, 5 GP screws, and 3 LP screws. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what we did at the end of this stage, and then we'll call it a day. See you in a few minutes. And that's it for stage 42. That one took a lot longer. There was a lot of detail that went into like doing the switches and stuff like that. And anyways, so basically we completed we added the antenna up here. We fixed the antenna. We did the switch panel down here. We fit the dials that are underneath here, like the fuel gauge and the battery indicator here. And then we put the emergency brake in, I believe, at last. And then lastly, we put the lower panel onto the upper panel. So now it's a complete dashboard. I guess not complete. I don't see a gas pedal yet, which I'm not sure where the gas pedal, the gas pedal might be on the floorboard of the vehicle. But that's pretty much it. That's what we did today, was we basically combined all the dashboard pieces into one. So if you like what you saw today, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. Next week we'll be putting out another Star Trek The Next Generation Enterprise build video. So it'll probably be another intricately detailed video like last week was, because as we keep moving forward, obviously we're gonna be building the little deck panels and adding to the saucer, and the different sections. So I think each week is gonna continuously be that way. But anyways, for all of us at the Heart of Geek, I hope you enjoyed the episode. And like I said, like and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell so you get notified when I put these out. And have a good night, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.